Last night, Fox News host Tucker Carlson began his primetime show with another deranged rant on the conspiracy theory known as the Great Replacement.
Senator Schumer probably could have just stopped after saying Tucker began his show, but unfortunately this episode was particularly vile and included a conspiracy theory that has been the inspiration for some horrific violence. It's also a mainstay of white nationalism.
This racist theory, which asserts that a conspiracy exists to replace white Americans with immigrants and people of color, motivated a white supremacist to gun down 10 black Americans at a grocery store in my home state of New York in Buffalo just over 2 months ago.
Look, I wish we didn't have to talk about this nonsense, and there's a good case for why it's not a good idea to raise the profile of hateful ideas that promote violence. But this isn't some fringe concept. The most watched TV show in the history of cable news is hammering this idea into its audience consciousness, and it's having tragic consequences in the real world. So with that, here are the not-so-subtle dog whistles that Carlson dropped Wednesday night.
In 1965, our leaders stopped trying to make the United States a hospitable place for American citizens, their constituents, to have their own families. That used to be considered the central task of leadership, perpetuating the population. If people are happy and confident, they'll have kids. They're vested in the society, and if they're not, they won't. That was their job. So they stopped doing it, and instead they just imported new people. That's literally what happened. Now, you're not allowed to point this out, of course. The media become absolutely hysterical when you do because it's so obviously true.
So let's break this down. The reference to 1965 is when the U.S. changed its immigration policies. What about this does Tucker find so offensive? Probably the fact that up until that point, immigration laws like the Chinese Exclusion Act and many others that followed were designed to exclude people from what were considered undesirable parts of the world. That included Asia, Southern Europe, and Eastern Europe, where people at the time didn't meet the racist standards of whiteness. These were policies that, by the way, earned the praise of Adolf Hitler, which I hope it goes without saying is not a good look. So in 1965, immigration got a little bit more equitable, and the only people getting hysterical about that fact ever since are those who have a problem with a more diverse society. And there are a growing number of people today that feel emboldened to share their lack of tolerance with the rest of the world. I wonder why that could be.
Fox News should be ashamed that they're enabling these racist views and giving them an enormous platform on their network. It's dangerous and un-American for one of the biggest news networks in the world to amplify conspiracy theories that are eerily similar to those cited by the Buffalo shooter. I urge Carlson to stop spreading replacement theory, or else risk seeing more tragedies like the one we saw in Buffalo last month.
And there's the main point, and why it's important to understand what's going on here. Carlson packages up this hateful crap into what he thinks are slick dog whistles that play into a grievance narrative, giving people a boogeyman to blame for their discomfort with the changing demographics of America. The majority of January 6 rioters come from counties with declining proportions of non-Hispanic white people, and a YouGov poll last month found that 73% of people that voted for Trump believe in this so-called replacement theory. And this is what I just don't get about white people hating immigrants. Your ancestors came here seeking a better life, and now you want to shut the door behind you? Almost everyone in this country descended from immigrants. One side of my family came over on a boat in the 20th century. The other came in the 17th century. Both immigrated. Second, despite what Fox News says to scare people, immigration is a great thing. Numerous economic studies show that immigrants are net job creators and make the towns and cities that they move to more prosperous. Our country has been incredibly unjust to immigrants throughout history, but there is no place in the world that has accepted and prospered from immigrants on the scale that we have in the USA. So if you want American exceptionalism, replace your hate with love for immigration. That's what makes America great.